All right, so today's lesson, a lot of information. So I want to kind of go over it. I'm going to do two parts. This will be a two-part. This will be my first ever two-part series. All right, so we're going to focus mainly in this part on perimeter. So we're going to look for the perimeter of a composite figure. So I guess just to have a little bit of definition, if I'm looking for the perimeter of something, you know that we're just looking, it's kind of like a fence line, right? So we're just looking for the outline. So if I'm looking for the perimeter of Central Park, it's this fence line all the way across it, or around it, I should say, around it. Right? That's going to be our perimeter. All right? So when we jump into looking at a figure, first thing we need to do is look at all the sides. That's all we're going to do is we're going to add them up. So let's say that's side 1, side 2, side 3, and side 4. Well, if we wanted the perimeter, since we know all the values, right? We know all the values. We can just add side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4. You guys should remember that from last year. Well, from here, let's just fill in what is side 1. So side 1 is 3. Let's cross it off as we go. Side 2 is 4. Let's cross it off as we go. Side 3 is 6. And side 4 is 5. And we just simple addition. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 and 6 is 13. 13 and 5. This is going to equal 18. And don't forget feet, even though I didn't put them in the answers. So our answer is D. Well, unfortunately, we're not always going to be given all of our sides. So we're going to have to find them. I showed you this in class. So I'll do it for the, say, horizontal ones, right? So we have these 3 horizontal sides. Those are terribly poorly drawn lines. I apologize. Well, I don't know. I have no idea what this side is, right? I have no idea what this side. Oh no, what is this side? Well, I have to figure it out if I want to find the perimeter. But what I do notice is that if I bring this 3 down, this 3 line, that now this through line all the way through the figure is the same length as my 5. So what do you think I can do here? What if I told you that you could pull off this side, your longer side, and subtract it from your smaller side? Right? And that's just what we're going to do. We're going to subtract our longer side. We knew this one equals 5. This small one equals 3. So that means that our middle side is going to be 2 centimeters. All right, and you can do that again vertically. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just do it again vertically. We'll use a different color. We'll use green this time. So look, I don't know what one of these sides is. I know what the right is. I know what the left is, but I don't know what this middle vertical side is. I just don't know. I don't know. But I do notice that if I bring this 4, but I do notice that if I bring this, why are they all linked together? They're not. All right, I do notice that if I bring this 4 side right here over, right? Now this through line all the way through that's green matches my 8, my longest side, my right-hand side. Same thing, I'm going to take the big side and I'm going to subtract it from the small side that I know. I'm going to subtract it from the small side that I know. So that's going to be 8 minus 4, and that's going to give us 4. So that means that this vertical side is 4 centimeters. All right, from here we just add them all up. So we have a 3 plus a 4 plus a 2. Remember, cross them out as you go. Plus a 4. You don't want to make a silly mistake doing basic addition. Plus a 5 and plus an 8. That's all of our sides. We've covered this side, this side, this side, this side. All right, so 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9, 13, 18. Looks like our answer is going to be A, 26. If you add those up in Desmos, you will get A, 26. Oh, and don't forget that it is centimeters. All right, sometimes you're going to get stuff that's a little bit tricky, a little bit more tricky, I should say. So let's kind of look at this side, or this shape, I'm sorry, this composite figure. All right, well, what screams out to me right away is that I don't know what this hump is, and I don't know what this far right-hand side is. So let me highlight these. Well, I'll highlight the far right side. All right, and then if I highlight this hump, right, so I need to figure out what these sides are. Well, an easy one to call out right away is this side to the right is obviously the same length as the left-hand side. And I can kind of prove that by drawing a straight line, a straight-ish line. And you can see that, you know, I get a bunch of right angles. You could prove it that way. So this side's going to be, in fact, 4 inches. All right, well, in order for me to figure out the length of this hump, I need to figure out what the length of this black line that I just drew is. Well, using the same kind of concept from earlier, I'm going to use this 6 and I'm going to use this 3 to figure out this black line that I drew. All right, and 6 minus 3 will just give me 3 inches. Well, when I want to go figure out the perimeter of a circle, we actually call that the circumference. And the circumference is 2 pi r. It's important to remember that your radius is half of the diameter. So half of this will be 1.5 inches. All right, now we're going to have to do a little bit of math. So if I want to figure out the length of this hump, I'm going to have 2 pi, this is going to be my circumference, 2 pi r. But I only have a half a circle. So I only need half of the circumference. So you have to remember to kind of add this half in. Well, you see that a half and 2 are just going to equal 1. So you're left with pi r. All right, well, we know that pi is 3.14, and we know that our r is 1.5. All right, and when you multiply all of those together, 3.14 times 1.5, you'll get 4.71. So this side is 4.71. All right, so now we just got to figure out what are we adding. Are we adding this 1.5 in? No, we don't need him. This 3 inches, we don't need that either. So we're just going to add these 5 numbers together, and you'll end up with 4.71. Remember, here's where you want to cross them out. I would even cross these out just so you know that you're not using them, right? Adding 3 and 4, so plus 3, plus 4, that's an awful looking 3, plus 6, and plus another 4, plus 6 and another 4. So when we add these together, you get 10, 17. It looks like you get 21.71. And if we're rounding to the 10th, the answer is B. All right, and last, when it comes to perimeter, we're going to do this track problem. Oh, wait, did I skip one? I did skip one. So next, we're going to do this walkway problem. Now this one's going to be a little bit tricky, but I think we'll be okay. So first of all, we need to know what we're looking for. And we're looking for the perimeter of just the garden, right? Just the garden. So we're just looking for this. Well, the values that they give us, though, are for the entire walkway, including the garden. But we don't need all of that. So what we need to find out are what these sides equal and what these sides equal. And I can tell you that the top and bottom are going to equal the same, and the left and right are going to equal the same. Well, we get this big hint here, and that is that the walkway is 2 feet thick, 2 feet, or 2 feet wide, right? So that means we have a 2 feet here, a 2 feet here, 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 2 feet. Everywhere there's a corner, I can extend that line and draw 2 feet. Well, just like we did earlier, right? So I know that I have 2 feet right here and 2 feet right here. But my whole distance is 10. So to find my left and right sides, I want to take 10 minus 2 minus 2. That's going to give me 6. So my left and right are both 6. Similarly enough, look, I have 2 feet here and 2 feet to the right. So my top and bottom are going to be 15 minus 2 minus 2. Make sure that you minus 2 twice, okay, or you will get the wrong answer. And I'll have 11 and 11. So when I add 11, I have 11 plus 11 plus 6 plus 6. Remember, cross them out as you go or circle them, whatever works for you. 22, 20, 22, 28, 34. It looks like feet. So our answer would be A. All right, last but not least is the perimeter of the composite figures. Composite figure below, this is, I call it the track problem. This one's kind of nice because they already give us, look, they give us the lanes, I guess, or the straightaways. So all we really need to find are these curves. Well, look, if you have 2 half circles, what does that give you? 1 whole circle. So what I'm going to do is just find my circumference of this whole circle. So what we said that the circumference of a circle was 2 pi r. And since we have 2 half circles, we can use this just like it is one. We can use this like this is just 1 whole circle. And remember, our r is our radius, and we can tell that our radius, they give it to us right away, is 1/4. So right, just not, you don't even have to do a lot of thinking here. Not a lot of searching, not a lot of creating, just a lot of plugging in. So I put my 1/4 into r. All right, and when I do the math for this, I get 2 times 3.14 times 0.25, which is going to give me 1.57 miles. Well, this 1.57 isn't just for one of these half circles. It's for both of them together. So we have to remember we did this together. This is both of them. And all we have to do is add up our numbers. So we're going to add our 1.57 plus 2 plus 2. Remember, cross them out as we go. And you'll get 5.57. And if we're rounding here, or rounding to the 10th, you'll end up with 5.6 miles. All right, so that's all I have for area. I'm telling you, this problem and this problem are definitely on your test. If you have any questions, reach out to me or your other teachers. Other than that, have a good one. Don't forget to study for your test.